All right, welcome back. In today's episode, we're going to be looking at the 5 levels of listening. You got my great handwriting here, perfect pyramid. It's going to be wonderful. All right, so the 5 levels of listening is one of the key components of the kind of coaching that we teach our coaches, transformational coaching. And when we go back to the 4 pieces of transformational coaching, you have transformational listening, asking powerful coaching questions, designing an action plan, and accountability. So we talk about the 5 levels of listening. It would be great for every parent, every teacher, I think every human being on earth to become a better listener and to be able to move up to level 5 transformational listening. So let's go through the levels. The 5 levels go from the worst kind of listening to the best kind of listening. The worst kind of listening is way more common than the kinds of listening that we see out there. Level 1 listening is interrupting. That means I'm going to interrupt everything you say. I'm listening long enough to think I know what you're going to say and I'm going to interrupt you. The problem with that is it creates very poor thinking. As I'm trying to figure things out and you interrupt me, I just can't think. And think about the impact of all of that kind of listening in our world, in our relationships, and in groups, organizations. So very, very poor listening leads to poor thinking, leads to poor results. Next level, this is what a lot of people think they're great listeners, is waiting. What they're doing is just waiting for you to stop talking. And they think they're a great listener because they're not interrupting you. It certainly is better, but level 2 listening is not great listening. You're just waiting for other people to stop talking. Now me, when I'm being listened to by a level 2 listener, I can tell they're not really listening. They keep stuttering, like they're waiting to talk. And our mind just shuts down when someone's listening to us with level 2 listening because we know they really want to talk. We're very polite. We'll give the microphone back to them. Okay? So that is not great listening, even though a lot of people think that because they don't interrupt other people, they're great listeners. They may actually not be listening at all. They're just really good at faking it. So the next level is mirroring. This is where you're actually going to mirror back to the person what you heard them say. So what I heard you say is the following. And generally it focuses on the words, the content of what the person says. So what I heard you say is that you burnt the toast this morning. Is that right? That's right. You burnt the toast this morning. I burnt the toast this morning. Okay, so that's mirroring, and it's great for conflict resolution because a lot of people, when they're in conflict, what they want to do is talk, and both sides are talking at the same time. No one's listening. So if we take turns mirroring each other, so what I heard you say is that I burnt the toast and you're really angry about that. Is that right? Yes, that's right. Okay, so then the other person gets to talk and they get mirrored and we go back and forth. Great in conflict resolution, but if this is your only coaching tool, what you're doing is parroting people. So what I heard you say is this. Yes, that's what I said. What I heard you say is this. Yes, that's what I said. It gets a little bit annoying, right? So that is not the highest level of listening. Actually, a lot of active listening classes teach mirroring as the highest level of listening. Far from it, right? Because it's just focusing on the words. Level 4, sensing, takes you to the next level. This really is excellent listening because what we're doing is paying attention to the nonverbals. We're sensing, is the person excited about this idea? Is the person anxious about this idea? And it really can lead us to great questions as a coach because we're paying attention to the nonverbals and we're also sensing what's going on inside of us. Am I excited while the person is sharing this great idea they have? And if so, then that may be important information for me to share with my client because what's going on inside of me is probably what will be going on inside of other people as they are being exposed to this person and their ideas, so on and so forth. We may want to share that. And the last part of sensing, which is really neat, is where I think about what the person is saying, the content in level 3, and I make sense of it. One of the deepest needs that human beings have is to be told, you make sense. Especially when we're in conflict with someone, to have someone tell us that we make sense is really important. So as a coach, I'm going to listen to what they're telling me, listen to the words, pay attention to the nonverbals. Maybe I notice a twinkle in their eye, maybe I notice a little hesitation, and then I'm going to say that makes sense to me because of what it is that I thought about. So this requires me to pause for a minute and think about what they said, and then think to myself, how does this make sense for who they are? And this is really important, especially when people are in conflict with each other, to stop for a minute and think, how does this make sense for them, for who they are? All right. Now, here's the highest level of listening, which is called transforming or transformational listening. And what happens at this level is that through my positive expectation in the other person's mind, my belief that this person's mind is able to produce great ideas, their mind actually starts creating great ideas. And we know this through the science of the Pygmalion effect. And this goes back maybe 30, 40 years. They did research in schools where teachers were told that certain kids in their classroom were going to outperform all the other kids in the class. And when they did that, those kids who the teacher believed were going to produce great results started producing great results. We now know the science of mirror neurons, that what's going on in my mind impacts your mind. If I think you're horrible and stupid, you're going to start acting horrible and stupid around me. You don't know why, but it has to do with the way my mirror neurons are projecting to your mirror neurons and we're communicating. Seems a little sci-fi, but it works. If you choose to believe that other people around you are smart, you'll see they start acting smarter around you. So we do this for our clients. We put all of this positive expectation and belief in their minds, and what happens is we become really interested in what they're thinking. We give them space and ease to think. Ease means I am not rushing you to figure things out because I know that you will come up with great ideas. What happens is the person's mind starts transforming and coming up with great ideas. That is top-notch listening. Thank you for joining us. More to come.